What's going on, everyone? My name is Alpha, and today we're back with another Pokemon Challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon Glazed. I always think this is Snakewood, and I was like, why do people keep asking me to play it? I swear I played it before, but I've never played Pokemon Glazed in my entire life. So we're gonna try to play it. Surprisingly, I've never played it because this is one of like the OG Romhacks in like back in the day. I remember Glazed, Floral Sky, Light Platinum, Snakewood, all the OG Pokemon Romhacks before the new ones. Nowadays you got Radical Red. You guys are spoiled with Radical Red. Back in my day we had Light Platinum and Glazed and Sacred Gold. Don't forget about Sacred Gold. Yeah, but today's challenge, we're gonna try to beat Pokemon Glazed blind, I guess. I don't know. I don't really have a challenge for this. I just want to play through this Romhack and have some fun with it. We're gonna try out Pokemon Glazed basically on our Romhack review for this week. And of course, as always, all my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments. But thank you so much for leaving a comment in the previous challenge video. If you guys want to be nicknamed after your future Pokemon, just drop in comments and hopefully I'll pick yours for the next challenge video. And while you're down here, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Anyways, let's get into the challenge video itself. So to begin off, we get our starter Pokemon. I'm not too sure why there's a bunch of random starters. Like there's Sinnoh starters, then there's Shinx and a Riolu. So a bunch of Sinnoh Pokemon. For no reason. We're gonna get ourselves a Chimchar. In my opinion, I think that's probably the most fun out of everything in there. Chimchar is gonna be our very first Pokemon, and then we're gonna get attacked by this Pikachu. This Pikachu is gonna be a reoccurring character, and it's very annoying. At some point, it does steal all of your badges, and you have to hunt it down for a good like 20 minutes. But yeah, this Pikachu gets very annoying. From there, we're gonna actually move on. We're gonna explore the town. We're gonna try to talk to as many people as we can. Most of the time, for all Romhacks and fan games, you want to talk to as many NPCs as you can because they give you a lot of items and possibly some Pokemon. So we might have to have a look out on that. And while this is happening I also want to address this comment. This comment is kind of funny. How do you not get bored playing Pokemon every single week? Now, honestly, I do get bored. I don't play Pokemon a lot on my free time, but when I'm recording, which is a lot of time, so I guess that's my free time, when I'm recording and I'm done with school, I play a lot of Pokemon because I enjoy the games and it's fun to make videos. Also, it's a job, you know, you got to make that bag. But also, I do enjoy it. You know, if I didn't enjoy it that much, I would just get a regular job. You know, YouTube is fun for me. I just really enjoy playing Pokemon. I just get annoyed when I'm doing challenge videos and they're not going the right way and they take forever, or I'm doing challenge videos and they end up flopping on the channel. That's the only time I get annoyed. Anyways, from there, you're tasked to catch a runaway Mudkip, which, you know, you have to find them like the Farfetch minigame and then you have to catch it. I end up losing to the Mudkip a lot of times because my Chimchar is obviously a fire type, but eventually we do capture it. We can't have it on our team, but I just don't want a bunch of starter Pokemon on my team, so I'm gonna drop it out. So no Mudkips for us today. However, we do go into this power plant in this town with the very first gym. We were able to find ourselves an Elegant, and we're going to quickly catch that because that's going to be a pretty cool Pokemon to have. We know there's going to definitely be a way to evolve this into Electivire. And as well, we're actually going to go face this Pikachu again. This Pikachu is going to be here all the time. We end up beating the Pikachu, and then we're going to go back into the forest where we caught the Mudkip and get ourselves a Tangela. Might be a weird capture, but I do kind of want to use Tangela. I feel like Tangela is a good Pokemon to have here. But from there, we're going to face off against the very first gym leader in the game. Very first gym leader in this game is going to be an electric type gym leader. His first Pokemon is a Shinx, pretty easy to beat, but it's Flaffy. It's annoying my Monferno, but eventually we get through it. And then his Jolteon is just so strong, it knocks me out. So we're going to have to restart. We keep fighting until my Monferno is actually able to level up midway into level 16 after beating the Shinx. And then his next Pokemon will be the Flaffy, which I get a very lucky crit into a burn. And then that would knock out the Flaffy. As he's able to switch out to his Jolteon, which I go out into my Elekid, actually puts a Paralyze on him with Static, which obviously Gen 3 mechanics. From there, I can go out to my Monferno and Fury swipes down the Jolteon. I'm not sure why he's not using an Electric type move, but he's not. And we end up beating the first gym leader. So from there, we're going to go out. We're going to train up our Pokemon a little bit because obviously we're a bit under level. And we're going to head to the next gym in the next town, which I don't know. I think it's like Seashore or something like that. From there, we're going to face off against the ground type gym. And this trainer right here, much harder than the actual gym leader. As you see, they have Nidoking and Nidoqueen. And we actually walk into the gym leader. I didn't realize the platform around him, so I went into this gym fight and I did not heal up my Tangela. My Tangela is really hurt, but I end up getting a sleep powder off against the Gligar, healing myself up, survive a magnitude 9, and then using Ingrain, kept my Tangela alive this entire time somehow. I'm able to survive against the Gligar and get boosted up on growth, so I'm able to absorb more damage. Eventually, I'm able to knock out the Gligar, which is amazing for my Tangela. Tangela is just clutching up. Vibrava comes out next. It can't do too much to me. I'm able to absorb it, survive a magnitude 10 easily, knock him out, and his final Pokemon will be a Phanpy, which I two-shot it. Surprisingly, I don't one-shot it, but I've two-shot the Phanpy, and we get our second gym badge in the game pretty easily. Now from there, I just want to show you a little funny thing. I got myself a lantern, and then I encounter a Pokemon, and then the lantern somehow disappear. It comes back if I leave the room, but I don't know why it's disappeared when I found a Haunter. From there, we're gonna face off against obviously the evil team in this game. I think they're called Team Fusion. They have some pretty strong Pokemon. Look at this, Conkeldurr and Machamp. They seem like the same Pokemon. The Trade Evolution's fighting type Pokemon, but they're very different Pokemon. Machamp's actually pretty cool, and so Conkeldurr is pretty cool too. Two very different Pokemon in my opinion. We're gonna beat down the Team Fusion grunts and then face off against the actual leader of them, which I actually didn't catch their name. Let me look through my recording real quick. Oh, Fusion Boss Michael. Very generic name. So we beat Michael, and now we can move on and head into the next gym. The next gym is in Sea Spray Town. This is okay. So this is Sea Spray Town actually. We can actually go into the department store, and we can get a bunch of stuff there. We need a Sunstone to evolve my Tangela, and also trade stones, but I can't find the trade stones in the actual department store. We'll get to that eventually. But from there, we're able to go into the next town because Sea Spray Gym Leader wants us to tell the people of this town to stop using all the power. So we eventually go into this town. I'll be honest, I have no clue what's going on in the story. We go into this gem mining minigame, and we're able to get a bunch of shards. We turn those shards into fossils, but none of the fossil Pokemon are really that great. But from there, we're done with the quest here. We can go back into Sea Spray Town and face off against the Water Gym Leader. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Electabuzz, which is actually higher level than his Pokemon. We can start the battle off against us using a Wartortle. I taught Thunder into my Electabuzz from the department store, and it 1-shots to the Wartortle and also 2 shots in the Seadrill. Pretty cool. Lands every single Thunder apparently. Lands it against a Maltic and a Paralyze. So I go for a Thunder Punch to knock him out. And then the next Pokemon I land another Thunder and a Paralyze against the Kingdra. I risked it again. I was going to see for a KO, but it misses finally. But lucky enough, he gets paralyzed, and I can just go for a Thunder Punch to end the battle. We end up beating down the Kingdra, and we get our 3rd gym badge in the game. Super easy. Now moving on, we go into the main mountain of the game, which Mount Coronet of this game. Found ourselves an Abra. Of course we can catch that. You guys know I love myself an Alakazam. We also found ourselves a Gibbo in this grass area, so I'm like, you know, this looks like a very generic team that I always have. So of course I gotta use Gibbo. Gotta have Gibbo on my team. So we're gonna quickly add Gibbo to our team and also Abra. Now moving on, we actually head into the next town, and the next town has a grass type gym leader, so we can clear through this pretty easily with our Infernape. We're going to start the battle off against the next gym leader using my Infernape against her Jumpluff. Our very first attempt of this actually did not go too well. As you see, the Jumpluff actually just annoys me so much that I just restarted. I rage quitted out of Pokemon Gym. Anyways, we'll start the battle off against the Jumpluff using my Infernape. Flame Wheel almost kills him, but he goes for substitute, so I'm able to go for Flame Wheel again to knock out the Jumpluff. Her next Pokemon will be a Venusaur, which I go for 2 Flame Wheels as it goes for Swords Dance. Swords Dance Venusaur, I like it. I like it. Picasso, 1-shot the Leafeon with a crit, and then 2-shot into the Tangela to knock him out. And we end up being a down Leaf. Of course, it's called Leaf, the gym leader, for the 4th gym badge in the game. Now, moving on, we're going to go into this battle facility where you obviously go into these challenges. You get some BPs. I was, you know, let's try it out. Let's just try it out. You get 1 BP for this. A Trade Stone costs 48 BP. Now, should I stay here and, you know, grind it out to evolve my 2 Pokemon? So what? 96 BP right there. Do I really want to do that? I decided I'm making the executive decision that I'm not going to waste my time in here. I'm not going to spend all my time just getting a trade stone. I decided, you know what, magically, they're selling trade stones at the Pokemart. With some action replay codes, we're able to get 2 trade stones and then evolve both our Kadabra into an Alakazam and also Electabuzz into Electivire. Now, at this point, I didn't even know how to evolve the Tangela, so you have to wait on that for a little bit. But from there, we're going to move out into the next gym. We go into this ice puzzle gym. Obviously, it's going to be ice gym, but obviously, I'm not smart enough to clear through this ice puzzle. Eventually, we get it, though, and we can face off against the next gym leader in the game. The next gym leader is going to be Ice type gym leader, and she's going to start the battle off against us using a Snow Run. These are very generic sprites, but I'm able to Flame Wheel. Well, this is an older game, so I don't expect anything else. We're able to knock out the Frostlass and also the Snow Run and the Glaceon. Oh, the Glaceon lives actually. Flame Wheel to knock him out, so 2 shots. And then finally, Superpower into the Weavile because it's 4 times weak to it. So we're going to clear through the Ice Gym pretty easily. This game, the leveling doesn't make too much sense. I feel like the leveling at the start actually had like a lot of things go for it. Now I'm over level. I only trained once because that was at the start and I felt I was under level, and then now suddenly everything's getting so much levels. Anyways, getting this bike actually took me a long time because I didn't know I had to go here into the Safari Zone to get the bike. Eventually we figured that one out and we can make progress. We get our final Pokemon, which is gonna be a Slowpoke. I need a water type Pokemon, and I honestly never used Slowpoke that much, so I decided to use Slowpoke. From there, we're gonna move out into the next gym leader. His name is Ernest. He's gonna be the fire type gym leader. He's gonna start the battle off against us using a Magmortar, very severely under level, as I'm able to Thunder Punch one-shot him. And then his next Pokemon will be a Charizard, which I go for a Thunder. Thunder knocks him out. Go for a Thunder against the Typhlosion too. It lands it, crits him as well, knocks out the Typhlosion, and then I go out, and then he goes out to his Infernape. I Thunder, I paralyze the Infernape, and he gets paralyzed in the same turn. I go for a Thunder again. This thing does not want to miss Thunders. This thing doesn't want to miss. Look at him. He hits all of them and crits the Infernape, eventually knock him out. The only thing taking out my Electivire is actually the burn. So, really great showing from my Electivire after evolution. From there, I'm just going to dig with my Gabite and knock out the Blaziken. From there, I can evolve my Gabite into a Garchomp, which looks kind of off. I think it looks shiny for some reason. But anyways, we're going to move on into the Rock Gym in the game. We're going to start the battle off against the Rock Gym leader. She's going to start the battle off with a Tyranitar. I use my Slowbro, because Slowbro is probably the lowest level. I'm able to knock out the Tyranitar, and then her next Pokemon will be a Rhyperior, which is kind of annoying. I go into my Tangela, and yeah, this takes a long time. I'm able to eventually knock out the Rhyperior, and then her next Pokemon will be an Aggron, which I get a Sleep Powder on. I'm able to Mega Drain slowly. I do have Giga Drain, which I just refuse to teach for some reason. I'm able to Mega Drain, eventually get him down to low HP, and then send out my Infernape to knock him out. Her next Pokemon will be a Shuckle, which I go for a Superpower, and then it goes for a Rest. It has Rest Toxic. Very unfortunate timing for me, because I go out to my Alakazam, it doesn't do enough. Toxic eventually knocked me out, which is annoying. Then I go out to my Garchomp, and lucky enough, I got a very lucky high roll here, and I am able to knock out the Shuckle with the Future Sight that I set up earlier. And from there, we're able to beat down the Shuckle, because that Shuckle could have rested up and really messed up my day. From there, we're able to beat down the Cradily, and that's the only scare we have so far in the gym fights. From there, we're gonna head into basically Mount Coronet. I forgot what it is, Mount Strauss or something. We're gonna clear through all the Team Fusion members in here. We also searched up don't tell anyone, I searched up the codes for that password. But from there, we're gonna face off against Michael once again. Michael has all 3 Sinnoh legendaries. However, they're level 42, and some of them have Dragon Rage as moves. So I'm not too sure what the difficulty level is, but it's not difficult at all. We also face off against this Mew. I could have really just beat the Mew or captured the Mew, but I just kept throwing my Pokemon at him. Eventually, we were able to beat down the Mew. Nothing too difficult. I cut it. I used cut to knock out the Mew, and eventually we cleared through all that. We beat Michael, and we forwarded Team Fusion's plan. Now moving on, we're going to face off against the final gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against the fighting gym leader. His name is Tyson, and he's going to start the battle off against us using a Hitmonlee. I use my Alakazam to Psychic and knock out the Hitmonlee. His next Pokemon will be a Lucario, which I go for an Earthquake and knock out in one shot. His next Pokemon will be a Scrafty. Just switch out into my Infernape. Superpower to knock out the Scrafty. That'll force him out into his Glade next. I go out into my pretty safe bet. Slowbro. Glade gets a bunch of Sword Dance off. Now it's pretty powerful, but he's not using any physical move until I start talking about it. He keeps using Psychic, and then Rock Tomb actually messes me up. So I gotta be very careful here. My Tangrowth does not survive an Ice Punch, so I gotta be very careful. I go for a Fire Punch. Lucky enough, that's enough to knock out the Glade, as I could have got swept there. But from there, my Infernape will actually handle down the Conqueror. As a superpower, we'll knock him out, as we're able to get our 8th gym badge in the game. From then on, we're going to move out into this Victory Road complex, where we go through 3 different biomes. The first felt like a trial before Victory Road, but this feels like a grassy Victory Road, and then an actual Victory Road, which is all cave. We train up our Pokemon pretty well, and we're eventually able to make it out and then head into the Elite Four next. I want you guys to take notice of what I bought here. Take notice of what I bought here. I sold a lot of stuff as well. Take notice of what I bought here. Yeah, I didn't buy revives. I'm so used to not using revives that, oh, revives, just don't use revives at all. I forgot to bring any revives into this Elite Four. So this is going to be very interesting. I have 2 max revives at the most. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. We're going to move on to the first Elite Four member in the game. We're going to face off against this pink trainer, the Rosaline. Rosaline only has pink Pokemon, which is kind of cool. I started the battle off against her using my Infernape. I'm not too sure why she has a Lickitung and not a Licky. This is the 4th generation. I'm able to knock out the Lickitung, and then her next Pokemon will be a Milotic. I obviously go out to my Electivire. Electivire survives the surf pretty well. Thunder Punch doesn't kill. I'm waiting for my chance to wake up. wakes up, but unfortunately gets served and knocked out. So I go out into my Garchomp, which is able to Dragon Claw and knock out the Maltic. So I already used one Max Revive. I'm able to Dragon Claw once again to the Blissey, eventually knocking out the Blissey because it keeps healing up. And then her next Pokemon will be a Chansey, which I'm able to get a crit, Dragon Claw, and knock him out. Dragon Claw doesn't knock out the Slowking, but obviously you can see how reckless I am. I don't notice that I only have 2 Max Revives, and that is already used up. So the rest of this, I can't faint at all, or I'm going to lose my Pokemon. So I got to be very careful. I don't have any other items to fix it. So yeah. The next Elite Four member we're going to face off against is going to be Magnus. Magnus only uses purple Pokemon. I get very risky here as I go for Fire Punches against the Aardvark, which obviously has Earthquake, and it's not letting up. It wants to knock out my Infernape, but I go out to my Alakazam, gets a Psychic off against him, which is nice. Her next Pokemon will be a Sableye, which I go out to my Garchomp. It gets poisoned, so it's gotta be very careful. Earthquake to knock out the Sableye, survives the Ice Punch, and Crunch will knock out the Gengar, which is actually amazing for us. I go out to my Slowbro next against the Mienshao. Mienshao gets a Dynamic Punch and a High Jump Kick, but my Slowbro is too tanky, as it's able to go for a Psychic and knock out the Mienshao. His next Pokemon will be a Drapion, which I go out into my Tangrowth. Tangrowth actually stalls this pretty well. It does not have a poison move, it looks like, but eventually I don't do enough damage, and now he's doing too much damage with Crunch. So I decided to go out to my Electivire and risk it. Electivire survives a Crunch just barely. I'm able to go for an Earthquake and gets a perfect roll to knock out the Drapion. And we're able to survive that just barely with our Pokemon still. From there, we're going to move out into this orange place, this orange theme place. We're going to face off against Tanya next. Tanya only uses orange Pokemon, so we're going to start the battle off against her using my Garchomp. 2 Earthquakes, somehow Floatzel survives one, and now my Garchomp's at low HP because it survived one. Now from there, I'm going to go out to my Slowbro against the Dragonite, and it has Thunderbolt. Surprise, surprise. And also Thunderbolts me instead of healing, so it knocks out my Slowbro, which is unfortunate, but I go out to my Electivire to Thunder Punch it to knock him out. She sends out a Shedinja thinking I don't have coverage. I have coverage. Fire Punch to knock out the Shedinja. Her next one will be an Infernape, which I go for an Earthquake. 2 Earthquakes would knock her out eventually. And then her final opponent will be an Arcanine, which I don't have an answer to because my Water type is dead. So I decided to go for my Electivire. I would have knocked him out if I didn't get burned here. So I decided to go out into my Alakazam, and he gets toasted. So that was a bad play. So I go out to my Infernape next. Infernape's able to go for a Mach Punch to eventually knock out the Arcanine, but we lose 2 Pokemon in the process. 2 really good ones, Psychic type Pokemon too. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Our next Elite Four members can be the Steel type Elite Four member or the Gray. More Gray. I think more Gray, not Steel type. We're gonna start the battle off against his Zoroark using my Infernape. I'm able to go for a Mach Punch. 3 Mach Punches will knock out the Zoroark as I'm able to make him lose focus. Works out pretty well. His next one will be a Skarmory, which debating going to my Electivire. Should have just stayed in. I don't know. Thunder Punch to knock out the Skarmory. And then his next one will be a Machamp, which I go out to my Tangrowth. And unfortunately it gets Focus Punch, but on the second turn, I'm able to just go for a Sleep Powder, and I'm able to get my HP back, and I run out of PP on my Giga Drain, so I gotta go out to my Garchomp, take the Rock Slide, as I'm able to Earthquake him down and knock out the Machamp, knock out the aggro in one shot, and learn Dragon Dance. This is the most powerful move in the game, Dragon Dance on Garchomp. From there, I'm able to go for a Dragon Claw and one-shot the Mighty Anna because it's really weak, and I'm able to get a crit on it. And now we move on to the champion of the game. We're going to face off against Champion Blake next, champion of this Romhack. So we're going to start the battle off against Blake using my Infernape to superpower immediately into the Snorlax. It does not work out. He wants to curse up, and I'm going for a Mach Punch. Does not do a lot, but second Super Punch will crit him, knock out the Snorlax, and then following up, he goes out into his Honchkrow, which I go out into my Electivire. I can survive or fly pretty easily as I'm able to Thunder Punch, knock out the Honchkrow. His next one will be a Weavile, which, you know what, I said, let's go, let's go. Fire Punch does not knock him out, but he's getting healed up. He has Nightshade as a move, so he's going to keep using Nightshade for some reason. Fire Punch to knock out the Weavile. His next Pokemon will be an Umbreon, which I go out to my Tangrowth. Tangrowth's able to get some Giga Drains off against the Umbreon, force him out into his Houndoom, which I go out into my Garchomp, obviously. Garchomp takes a Flamethrower, Earthquake to knock out the Houndoom, and then force in the Umbreon. It doesn't go for Toxic, surprisingly. It goes for a Mean Look. So I get a Dragon Dance off for free, as I'm able to go for an Earthquake and knock out the Umbreon. I assume I was getting one-shot the Dark right here. That's why I stopped the speed up button. But it ends up not knocking him out. But he goes for a Substitute, but his HP is too low. And I'm able to catch him with a second Earthquake to knock out the Darkrai, to knock out Blake as well. So we are the champions of this region. What is this region? Tornado? Something like that. I think something along the lines. I'm pretty close. But there is another portion of the game that I could explore, which is going to be the Johto side, but I assume not anyone want to see that because I mean it's just Johto, and I was very confused. I was like, wow, no credits, no nothing, no celebration. The final battle was pretty cool. The Elite Four itself was really cool. In my Romhack reviewing expertise, it was a pretty nice pace Pokemon game. Unfortunately, that the level caps or the leveling system didn't make too much sense, so it kind of held it back, and it became a very, very easy game as I kind of just walked through it. I feel like I could actually beat this game with a team of full 6 Magikarp. But anyways, that will be the end of my video. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you guys can, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Anyways, my name is Alpha. Hope you guys all had a great day, and I'm out. Peace.